Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sully Squad. For the second straight week, I get the privilege of saying we are the city of world champions, baby. Philadelphia Eagles, as we all know, world champions, had a great sick-ass parade. There was like 1.5 million people down in Philly, and I know Sean and Diego, we were all there, and pretty fucking wild, man. It was pretty wild scene, you know?
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Oh, yeah. People you didn't know, you became friends with, obviously, like we did, Joe, and probably Diego as well. But
Same thing.
Man, I mean, utter, like, sellout crowd, man. I'm just speaking.
It was a lovely Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That definitely was awesome. So we'll get a lot of parade talk, obviously. You know what I mean? See, it was Super Bowl champs. The Phillies opening up spring training. I mean, shit, it would be nice if they could get us one. I mean, but we'll see what happens with them. But we'll get into it here. I got my usual cast. I got and I got a special guest. I got my man Jeff Damasio hanging out with us tonight. So hey, what's up, Jeff? How you doing, man?
How you doing? How everybody doing?
Good.
Great.
Good. And I got my man Sean Killer Kilrain to his side. What's up, dog?
Not much, man. Just recovering from the parade, sleepiness, and just overwhelmed with joy, babe.
Yeah, and then I got my man Mr. 6 for 6, Diego the Hammer Bianchi. What's up, brother?
What's up, dude? Who's ready for football again? You know?
Dude, I'll tell you, it's nuts, bro. I mean, like I know Jeff, obviously, like we love this, Sixers and Flyers are playing, and I know Jeff's a big Flyers guy, but I mean, the Flyers are in the midst of a rebuild. I mean, the Sixers are freaking hideous. I mean, Christ, I can't even watch the Sixers right now. I mean, you know what I mean? Like they're not worth watching. And yeah, I mean, you think about it right now, it's kind of like it's almost like a sports lull. I mean, we got, although the best part about it is, the NFL really doesn't rest. I mean, you figure March 10th coming up, we got free agency, and that's one thing I want to get into because, it's great to be world champs, and of course we love it, but it sure as hell would be great to be at this point next year. And Howie Roseman and the Eagles have a lot of big decisions to make. So, that's something we'll get into. But before we do, like what. Diego, like what, you were down there Friday, like what was, to me, like me and Sean, for me, it was like the best of Philly, the first part of the parade. Like we were hanging out, and like there was a guy and his wife, he handed Sean a bottle of Hennessy and like handed us 3 beers, and we're like, bet, you know what I mean?
Here we go,
Yeah, like he was down there and he's handing us beers and stuff, and we're like, dude, you sure? He's like, yeah, man, shit, I can't take it with me. I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? So that was pretty cool.
And gave shots to everybody down there, I mean,
yeah, and then we were giving beers. We had some extra beers, so we were passing beers away. Like basically, if somebody was cool, you know what I mean. Did you have the same type of experience?
Yeah. I gave out about a pack of cigarettes.
Oh wow!
Everyone's like, I get a cigarette. I'm like, here you go. I'm so happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it was a great time. Everyone's so happy. Like the biggest takeaway is just how happy the city is, and everyone all one day. You know, because sometimes you go to the gas station on a random Monday and you're just like, everyone is a jerk off, you know? And that day, it's just everyone's happy, everyone's celebrating the same thing. We're all just like one happy family, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and Sean, I think the funny thing is, so we saw this cute little old lady and her little daughter, like I don't know, she must have been like 3 years old. She was like so adorable. And then like Sean's taking pictures. Next thing you know, like Sean's getting in the picture. So it's so funny. Like, Sean, you're gonna be up on the picture in the house, you know?
This is brother Sean.
Someday that some of those are going to say, "Look, that's Uncle Sean."
I know, right?
It just was like so cool, like overwhelming to like see the fans and just hear some of their stories and shoot the shit with them, and it was all good, you know, just soaking in the atmosphere and the camaraderie, you know.
One big party. We got a bench. We found a bench, like probably like 7, 8 blocks from the art museum. Just sat there, drank, danced. You know what I mean? And then when the buses started coming up, we just walked like 10 feet right to the fence, and then we were right there at the art museum to watch all the speeches and everything.
Yeah, it
wasn't as hard. It wasn't as hard as you think to get down there driving. We drove down 30th Street Station, parked up, walked 15 minutes, and then we were there.
Yeah, you know what's wild, dude? My brother Jerry was working down there. You remember? Do you remember how they said like Nolan Smith was all banged up and a cop had to drive him to catch up to the parade? Jerry was that cop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he said, yeah, like he posted some pictures. He said he was like cool as shit, and he's got a picture of actually holding a Lombardi trophy. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
Yeah. But it was him and his partner drove Nolan Smith up to catch up to the parade.
Yeah, that's cool.
He was hammered, what they said.
Oh yeah, but hey, you know what though? I mean, shit. Let's keep it real. If any of us won the Super Bowl, I'd say we probably would have a pretty good buzz too. You know,
fucking right.
You know,
I had a great buzz all night, and I didn't win the Super Bowl.
Of Bud Light, or was it Coors Light?
He Bud Light.
Bud Light, yeah.
Oh my God!
Truckloads of Bud Light. Saquon gave to each player, I believe.
Yeah, each offensive lineman, I think.
I know, that's great.
Dude scattered records, did his thing. You know, was a blessing in the sky for us, man. I mean, I have no other words. 2,000-yard rusher, offensive player of the year. You know, it gets no better. And the people that are banging their heads against the wall, or actually smashing them, is the New York Giants, especially at GM and Mara, the owner. It's just a godsend. And he loves it here. Like, it's a breath of fresh air, man. And just his season speaks for itself, man.
He said he was 5 minutes away from signing with the Bears till we jumped in.
Well, I'm glad he didn't, because look at this O-line, man.
Yeah.
O-line really showed up and showed out for him. And me and Joey were at that Jaguars game when he did the back hurdle. It just was awesome.
We were all there.
Yeah.
We met you in the parking lot first.
Yeah, that's right.
I know.
I lost my shit when I seen that. That was the best fight I've ever seen probably live.
I love watching the sideline because you got some of the players just like, there's no way.
I sat back down in my seat and just put my head in my hand, and I'm looking at my brother. I'm like, did he really just fucking do that? And he's like, I think so. I'm like, I can't wait to get home and see that on TV, because I knew it was crazy there. I knew it was gonna be crazy on TV.
I looked at Joey and I'm like, dude, what just happened?
Yeah, one thing that's better about watching the game on TV, you see that play like 15 times. At the game, you see it once, and you got to get home and watch it again.
But the thing is, we were there.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
I know. That was a great day. I got Paul Spencer with a comment here. He says, I got to admit, I watched the parade. I was blessed to see 3 live in Dallas, but I'll probably never get to see another one with my team. Once again, congrats, world champs. Well,
yeah. Now you might. Dak Prescott said the Cowboys are right there with the Philadelphia Eagles. Fucking jerk off. Dak Prescott, we're right there with them. Yeah, okay. Do win a fucking playoff game.
I got another comment here. He says, "Shit, a miracle happens, and I witness a parade in Dallas. I'm going to be that dude that gets crazy lit drunk." Yeah, I hear you. Hey, I'll give Paul credit though, because I mean, Dallas fan congratulating us. I give him props, at least there, because if Dallas wins a Super Bowl, we're not going to be all that thrilled about it either. You know what I mean?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Other fans need to take note of how he approaches.
They won't win. They won't win a Super Bowl until Jerry Jones gets rid of that team, if ever. He's a die.
Well, if you ever want to watch their Super Bowls, just pop in that VHS tape, fellas. So.
Here's Keno. Here's our boy Keno, Joaquin Stable. He says, "Thank you, Giants, for this wonderful running back, Saquon Barkley." Yeah, man. I mean,
is there that guy some steak sandwiches up there? Was it? What's his name?
Yeah,
Morrow, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Mara. Yep. Yeah. I know, and the best part about them too, it's like they had such a horrible year. And then, like, it came out, they're like, oh, by the way, we're bringing the coach and the GM back. And we're like, oh, cool. All right.
Cool, dude. Now draft Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, you know what's funny?
I hope they draft him.
I have a feeling he's going to be a bust.
I agree. I think he's trash.
Look, I said to Joey, think of it. You had Jared Payton, Walter Payton's soul. He didn't live up to his dad's talent. You know what I mean? It's easy as it can say. You try to live on your father's legacy, but it ain't happening.
He's also playing the hardest position in the game.
Yeah.
You know? But Deion played cornerback. He was a great cornerback, but he didn't play quarterback.
Different era, where but I don't see him shining.
Another thing, I'm so sick of hearing these people still take other quarterbacks over Jalen Hurts that's not named Patrick Mahomes.
Let them. It's
bunch of fucking clowns.
It's jealousy.
Exactly. And then it's more bulletin board material because he's a laid back quarterback. He takes receipts. It's all here. He'll just take that and show you.
I just watched a video of that dude Pete Prisco, and they went through like 12 different quarterbacks, dude, and he picked like 10 of them over Jalen Hurts, and then he had the balls it was Trevor Lawrence. He was like, "This is a lot closer than people think." I'm like, what the fuck has Trevor Lawrence shown anyone about how close that could possibly fucking be?
If Jalen Hurts had more of a personality in that kind of situation, you'd see him up there at the top. But he's very just focused in on the football and not all the shenanigans around it. And that's why he doesn't get all the accolades that he gets. Look at a lot of your big players. They get all the accolades, and the guys that don't really say much don't get much. Yeah,
but look who just signed Jalen Hurts, Jordan.
Yeah, you know what's funny? That's what I was about to say, because that's such a great point, because you look at a lot of these other quarterbacks like the I'm drawing up the kid Herbert, the kid in perfect example is Justin Herbert.
Yeah, he took Herbert over Jalen too.
Right. I've been hearing for 4 or 5 years how great this Justin Herbert's supposed to be. And I got to admit that, kid has a great arm. He's got all the physical tools. Same shit with Trevor Lawrence, like Sunshine. Like, Christ, they had, people were saying Trevor Lawrence was like the best quarterback prospect to come out in years since like Andrew Luck. That dude hasn't done dick cheese. Trevor Lawrence, he had one decent year. The year that they made the playoffs, he had that comeback against the Chargers. But other than that, he really hasn't done shit. Jacksonville blows. You know what I'm saying?
And sucks.
Right. But
those nagging quarterback injuries that me and you talked about. And, and he is what he is, so.
Yeah. But I think one of the things that makes Jalen so great is that Jalen isn't about those numbers. Like we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Like, even the Super Bowl, look at Jalen's stats. Jalen only had to throw the ball 22 times, but guess what though? They were big ass throws. Like that throw to Doxson was huge. Then there was a couple of plays where he extended drives. I think, what was it, like a 3rd and 6 or whatever? He ran about 11 yards. Like the thing about Jalen is Jalen has that innate ability to make plays in the big moments. And I remember seeing it. You could even go back to college. Like everybody looks at how he was benched for Tua Taglianova, right? And they give him shit for that. But no one ever points to the game where he played against Deshaun Watson when he was a freshman. If you guys remember, Deshaun Watson won that football game, but Jalen Hurts as a freshman moved that ball, moved this team down the field, gave them the lead, and then Watson came down. So Jalen Hurts has had a clutch gene.
Yeah, he's the most clutch quarterback in the league.
Well, I mean,
besides Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I was gonna say
no one wins like Jalen, and that's what clutch is. It's about winning. I don't have to put up all the gaudy stats and shit. When I need to drive and I got to get in fucking field goal range, I need a game-winning touchdown. Jalen comes through.
Yeah, I mean, look at the last few years. Like the last 2 years, he's beaten Patrick Mahomes twice. He beat Josh Allen. I mean, obviously
Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow,
and both of Mahomes. Actually, take it one step further. Josh Allen was here. Okay, we'll say that, but he beats Burrow in Cincinnati, Jackson in Baltimore, Mahomes in Kansas City.
Outplays Mahomes, and the only time he lost to him.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, so bottom line is, and it really is like. It really is cool that like he's on the Jordan brand now because you look at the one thing you could say about Jalen is it seems like he has that competitive he has that
mentality, that Jordan mentality,
right? Like the Kobe, the Jordan, like he's got that, and you can't teach that shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these, you can have a lot of talent, but he has that, and yeah, I mean, I is Jalen the most talented thrower of the football in the league? Probably not. No, he's not. I mean, let's keep, if you're going sheer throwing the football, you probably would take a Burrow over him. You would take a Josh Allen, maybe even a Lamar because he's got a stronger arm. I'm not sure. But Jalen does all the things that win a game. Like how many of those Saquon runs was Jalen calling a great audible and getting him into that play? And then next thing you know, Saquon runs for 70 yards.
Yeah.
This comment down here by Paul, I agree.
Yeah.
If you take some of these quarterbacks that we're talking about and you stick them behind the best offensive line in football, they're going to put up numbers and be great quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
There's absolutely no offensive line that is big, as strong, and I think as smart as the Eagles' offensive line. And they can rotate 2 or 3
do with proper rotation too. Next man up mentality, like I said to Joe Diego. Stoutland treats those backups like not a backup, starter. And you've seen it. Steen, Fred Jackson, Johnson, excuse me. The list goes on. I mean, and they know how to play. And just like Joey said, we know how to win.
Dude, Buffalo had a better roster than Kansas City the last couple times they played them and still lost.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson had a better roster than Buffalo and lost. They had the second leading rusher in Derrick Henry. Bateman was great all year. They have Mark Andrews, likely. They had a great offense. And they couldn't beat Mahomes, who in reality was that team even that great? DeAndre Hopkins is really like your number one go-to guy and Xavier Worthy for bombs. Travis Kelce was a bum this year. Your offensive line sucked. Casey's offensive line was horrible. So I don't want to hear about all the other quarterbacks. They played a lesser Kansas City and couldn't beat them.
I guess my biggest thing with this, I was just happy it wasn't a close game. I mean, we really, really whipped them.
Yeah, we whipped them.
Oh, it was great.
And Saquon Barkley had 57 rushing yards.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all Jalen.
They were stacking the box for him. They thought that was the way to stop him. That was going to stop the game, and that was going to be it. And we just took advantage of everything else.
Yeah,
it worked.
Yeah, I mean, how many times did we hear BTA belt to ass on Friday? That's literally all I heard was belt to ass. It was great.
Yeah,
BTA.
Here's our man Maurice Wright. Hey, Maurice, man, it was great meeting you on Friday, dude. That was an awesome time. Maurice says, do you guys think the Eagles' offensive scheme changes once the new offensive coordinator comes in? Will Jalen be asked to throw 30 times a game or continue to just manage the game? I hope that they don't mess with what works. You know what I mean?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Those coordinators worked under Moore. So if he keeps Moore's type of philosophy.
I was going to say, I think they just promote one of these guys that has seen that offense ran all year, understands it, can have a similar playbook to it. And then is Vic Fangio going to retire?
No.
All right, well, then we're good on defense. So
he said when he retires, he's retiring in Eagle. He's not going anywhere else. He's staying here.
Yeah, keep that same philosophy. Barkley's our number one guy, and then when you need Jalen steps up.
Mm-hmm.
And the best thing about Jalen Hurts, he's not worried about all them stats. He always just keeps the main thing, like he always says.
Yeah,
He's not worried about Pickett taking his job.
Nah.
Patulio is getting moved up to offense coordinator.
Yeah.
Who's in
Patula?
Yeah. Patula.
Yeah, he's getting moved up to be and he worked under Moore, and he worked closely with the players, and they said it was like two of them were attached to the hip.
Yes, that's perfect.
Well,
I don't see
that's perfect to me.
Like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So
right.
I was reading an article today that they said that one of the players was saying that Moore actually surprised them, that he had more of a relationship with the players and listened to them instead of preaching to them. Mm-hmm. And he said he even said he had to preach more to he didn't say the word divas, but he kind of implemented that in Dallas. He had some players that didn't want to hear anything he had to say, that they knew what they were doing. Or these guys listened and they talked and they asked, what do you think? What do you want to do? And then
what should we do? Yeah,
after week 4, they said, look, we need to pass more. We need to do this more. And they listened to it. They didn't just say, yeah. Where the coaches will tell you what to do. No. That goes a long way, I think. I mean, listening to people in general, not just in sports, in jobs, and anything in life. Just listen to what they have to say. If it's not going to work, it doesn't work. But, hey, they all seem to gel together. I was hoping he didn't go anywhere, but we'll see.
When you all play together, you win together. I mean, it's just like I said to Joey and Diego. It's a brotherhood. They're with the guys more than they are with their family. You know, they stick up for one another. They know each other. They get along. It's like I said, a big brotherhood. I got your back, and I know you got mine. So let's do it.
One thing Moore said was, and it's pretty funny how he said it. He said once practice was over in Dallas, it was like you turned the lights on and all the roaches ran out of the building. He said after practice was done with the Eagles, they would stick around, play cards, play ping pong, go out somewhere. Big difference. They weren't rushing home.
Yeah, you want to get to know your player.
Yeah.
I thought the biggest turning point was when everyone said Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown's relationship was all fractured and shit. And then out of nowhere, they start connecting. Eagles win all them games in a row. And, I feel like that's when everything really changed.
Yeah, well, it just goes, I mean, it's a great point, too, because, a lot of these teams, like, you can have a very talented team, but like they said, it takes a true team to win a Super Bowl, especially in football. I mean, football is the ultimate team sport. I mean, as all it takes is 1 out of 11 to fuck up and you screw up the whole play. You know what I mean? You could be the biggest offensive genius in the history of mankind, call a great play, and if your left guard gets bulldozed by like a Jalen Carter, your quarterback gets sacked and you ain't doing shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's a great point. I got a couple comments. Here's our man Mike Fuji said, "What's up? What's good, fellas? Happy Monday. What's up, Fuji? How you doing, brother?" Here's our man Chris Rapizzi. Yo, what's up, homies? What's up, Chris?
Good, Chris.
I know Chris was having a good time at that parade. I'm sure he had a blast.
Oh yeah, look like it.
Got one more here. I got Paul Spencer says, must be nice to have an OC. We hire Clayton Adams, a bum from the Cardinals, and a now promoted head coach Schottenheimer that got his play calling taken away. Here's the OC. 7-10 again. Lock it.
No. Dak Prescott said you guys are right there.
Hey, listen.
Check in for CTE. I mean, come on, dude.
Here's the thing, though. Like we're all diehard Eagles fans. We hate the Cowboys. You know what I mean? But the only thing I would say, though, you know how football is, though, dog. Like, if Dallas does draft well, if they were to draft say they get a good young running back, they get another receiver, they add a few pieces and a healthy Dak, they could be competitive again.
I got you, but you're the third best team in the division. Washington has like $82 million of cap space, and they just got to come on. They're going to get so much better.
Washington, the teams I would be worried about.
Yeah.
That's the team I'm worried about. Jaden Daniels, to me, is special. Dak Prescott's a bum, and he's proved that over and over again. Like, he can look really, really great at times, but it's like put all your money on it when he's got to win it. He's making a mistake.
Well, that is true. for Jalen Hurts seems to have a clutch gene. Dak Prescott is the opposite of that.
The choke gene.
Yeah, he's you know what for as much as well, you know what, I don't know if it's fair to say it about McNabb because McNabb did come through a lot in the playoffs, but McNabb
had the ultimate choke gene, like throwing up in a Super Bowl.
No, but in the biggest moments he did, but I'm saying, but at least McNabb got us to the championship games. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like,
that's true. That's true.
You know, I mean, but yeah, you're right. I mean, the biggest moments he did, like, in that Super Bowl with throwing up, or the Rondé Barber pick. I mean, shit,
yeah.
that was my old. Thank God we won a couple Super Bowls because it's taken away some of that pain because I still can see Rondé Barber running
run down the sideline,
vicious down the other.
Yeah,
that was to this day I think that was my worst loss ever as a Philly sports fan, I think, or at least one of them.
Really did no way. To me, the worst fucking loss, Kawhi Leonard shot.
Oh, that was terrible.
Dude, that was the most crushing thing as a Philly sports fan.
I can be there with you on that, but it was a hell of a shot. You got to give the guy credit. I mean,
I just feel like if we win that game, our whole entire franchise is different right now.
Correct.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, the process, yeah, because we might have won the championship, maybe kept Jimmy Butler now, and the process would have worked. Now we're sitting here years later, and the process is up in flames.
That's good talk about the Sixers. I'm moving.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right.
I don't want to hear.
Here's our man Chris Rapizzi. He said, "Man, this season was great. I remember when the Eagles were 4-11 when I first started watching the Eagles. Crazy how time changes." Hell yeah, man. Got a couple more here. He says, "My son was like, Dad, we come down here every year." I told him, "No, bro, it's not that easy. Enjoy the moment."
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul Spencer says, "Fuck Dak."
Yeah.
Got another one. Maurice Wright says, "Considering the Eagles may part ways with at least one or two of the top 5 free agents, is the 32nd pick in this year's draft that important?" Oh, shit, yeah. I mean, hey, the draft is always important. I mean, look, as all we got to do is look how the Eagles were built. Like I think I got this somewhere in here, but 2021, if you look at the first 3 picks of each of these drafts, 2021, you got Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, and Milton Williams, right? 2022, you have why am I drawing a blank? 2022 was who the hell we got in 2022, Sean? Why am I drawing a blank? Hang on, let me see. Christ, I usually know this. Here, I sent it to you. Hold on. 2022. Who the hell we get? What's that?
We get Mailata in 2022?
No, 2022. The second round we took Juergens. First round we took Jordan Davis. Christ.
Oh, okay.
And we traded for AJ Brown. So 2022 we took Jordan Davis, traded for AJ Brown, took Cam Juergens, and then Nakobe Dean. And then 2023 you got Jalen Porter, Nolan Smith, and Steen. And then this past year you had Cooper DeJean,
Quinyon Mitchell, Hunt.
Right.
Yes.
So to answer Maurice's question, yeah, of course. I mean, this pick is all these picks are important, and especially, we're looking forward. I mean, we were looking back at the parade, but looking forward, I mean, you got Milton Williams as a free agent.
He's gone. Milton Williams is gone.
I think he might stay. They look at. I think the guy we're going to lose is Sweat, which is in a way to me. I mean, I like the guy, but it's no Sweat to me.
I think we lose that.
We have to keep Vaughn. Vaughn's the guy we have to keep because
I agree.
Out of position. Because Fangio saw something different, and the guy just went off.
Milton Williams was like one of the best graded defensive tackles in the league this year.
5,
They're projecting him like a $73 million contract. Eagles ain't giving him that. And Ajomo was a really high-ranked defensive tackle when he was on the field, too. So they have somebody that kind of, I feel like, to step into that Milton Williams role. That's not your every down D tackle.
Yep.
Well, I was going to say, I have it right here because you're right. Pro Football Focus said Williams was like first or second in all pressures by D tackles. But to your point, highest pass rush win rate among the D tackles this year. Chris Jones 18.8%, Moro Ojamo 18.2%.
Yeah, Ojamo can ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean here sitting there at number 32, I mean, you almost have to go best player available because that's where the Eagles are. But this draft, I think, is deep in defensive tackle. So if they do lose Milton Williams, and Sweat, maybe sitting there at 32, maybe you could grab yourself a developmental, interior rusher, and then
Howie Magic.
I think Eagles grab an edge.
There's a guy out there. Remember this name? Two of them, with the 32nd pick, Kenny Grant, which is Michigan's defensive tackle.
Okay.
6'3", 383. And then a guy that I love, I even said to Sully, Mike Green Marshall. He had a great senior. He almost looks like Khalil Mack, man. Just the way he's on the edge. But I see him going to the Ravens or Bills. But
I think defensive end's going to be the way to go. You're going to lose BG. He's going to retire. You're going to lose Josh Sweat. You got Hunt Smith, who'll probably play a huge role next year. Bryce Huff can't count nothing on him, but because he takes so much cap, he has to play. Or you got to draft a guy that can play at 32 on a cheap-ass contract.
Yeah. Tyler Anderson, Arkansas, edge rusher, since you said that. Watch for him, too.
Definitely think that's the pick.
Do you trade for Myles Garrett?
Nah.
I would, but it's probably going to take, I think I said to Joey, two first, a second, maybe a first this year, next year, a fourth and a second. Or how he could work his magic. And you never know.
Yeah.
The dude wants to get out of Cleveland. Anybody wants to get out.
He wants to come here and he wants to come to Washington. Those are the two top teams he said he wants to go
I can see Washington getting Myles Garrett.
And that's a little scary.
That's scary.
Yeah.
And Max Crosby also could be.
Yeah.
Max Crosby's looking for a new team too. He put something up like, I want to win a championship, and then put like an Eagles emoji next to it or something.
Yeah, you're going. Yeah.
Hey, whatever works, make it happen, Howie.
I just think with these young guys and the way they've been playing with Nolan Smith and the way Hunt looked in the playoffs when he got the opportunity, do you let these guys develop even more? Because if you go get a Myles Garrett or Max Crosby, you're taking these guys off the field.
No, not necessarily. Just give them more snaps, proper rotations.
Yeah,
you get a guy like Myles Garrett.
Yeah, but you got to pay you got to pay that money for him to share snaps with another guy who needs to get a lot of snaps.
He's not. He's going to be in his own. Sweat's gone.
You also have to. We also have to factor though. It's not just about paying Myles Garrett, but you're going to have to sign Jalen Carter to a huge contract, and Jordan Davis is going to be up at the end of this year, and you can't. I mean. One of the Eagles beat writers was on the radio last week saying that the team really thinks that Jordan Davis was really starting to take some steps as the season went on. And if you guys remember, he started to really make some plays in the playoffs.
But only played 14 snaps in the Super Bowl.
What's that?
He only played 14 snaps in the Super Bowl.
I understand that, but some of them were impactful snaps.
Definitely. No, I'm not saying they make impact, but for you, how much can you pay a guy that's only going to get 15, 20 snaps a game?
Yeah, but the problem is though he's so big. I mean, I feel like he's a big part of I feel like he could be a big part of the run defense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Hey, Mike, as of right now, Mike Fuji in there, we got seven current draft picks right now. But then again, with Howie Magic, we could have 15. We're not Andy Reid, so we don't move back in the draft every year.
we have our own first, our own second. We have a third with Philly or Miami, which is ever worse. We have a fourth from the Lions, and then we have 3 5s, whatever that is. So
okay,
but yeah, and
fifth rounders, all
right. Now here's the point though. If the Eagles do lose. I read somewhere where if the Eagles do lose, say, Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, a few of these guys, they could wind up with a lot of compensatory picks in 2026, along with that Jets third-round pick. So there could be ammunition for getting a Myles Garrett. Like say how we did make the money work. You could trade this year's 132, and plus a 2 and maybe like this year's 1, maybe next year's 2 and like a 3 and get Garrett. And if you pay him, you still have a decent amount of picks, because you have all these comp picks.
The number one thing they have to do is sign Bond. He completely changed this team. He was everywhere, and he just seemed to enjoy football. And to enjoy football, it's a big step. I mean, listening to the article, he said he didn't enjoy it anymore. He said he had a hell of a lot of fun, and he doesn't want to go anywhere. He wants to go out and see what kind of money is going to be out there. But he had his druthers. He wants to stay here. So in other words, he's saying, he's going to play the game. He's saying all the right things, but I think they'll make it worth his off. Do what everybody else does. Push the contracts off. Don't give him a 15-year contract like some of these teams do.
I think two guys they have to lock up. The two most important guys, Mekhi Becton and Zach Baum.
Yeah.
Got to get them deals done. Mekhi Becton played such a huge part where we were the biggest offensive line in the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we want to win again next year and we have Saquon Barkley, that's got to be the number one thing. Keep that line together.
Yep.
And then if Lane wants to retire after next year, then you can bump Mekhi Becton out to right tackle.
Yep.
Exactly. The only scary thing is that another team out there is going to offer Becton a huge ass contract to go play right tackle, and they might give him an offer that's too big to refuse.
That's true. But then why? I'd rather try to get a deal done with Mekhi Becton than trade and have to give Garrett some money.
No, I don't see us getting Myles Garrett. I know a lot of people,
I don't.
Because even as great as we all know Howie's a cap wizard and a cap genius and all that stuff, but there's got to be limits to even what he could do. Because look at all the money we have invested in this offense already. Actually, I was just reading. Here's another guy they got to sign. Cam Jurgens is due for a big raise. Mm-hmm. So think about it. You got to extend Jalen Carter. You got to extend Jordan Davis. You got to extend Cam Jurgens. You know what I mean? You got to what's his face? And then if you want to keep Bourne and you want to keep Becton, well, you only have so much money.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Here's Maurice Wright with a good point here. He says loyalty. That's probably going to be the deciding factor in the Eagles going back to the playoffs and making another run for the Super Bowl. Money talks, but who wants to make history?
That's true.
Mm-hmm. It kind of all depends on how close the money is. Don't you guys think? If you're talking the difference between maybe $1 million or $1.5 million, one of these guys might be like, you know what? I want to win another Super Bowl. If you're talking $5 million, $6 million, it's like, you know what I mean? It's it goes back to remember back in the day when the Phillies had Jason Worth and Pete. I never could understand, Jason Worth was a great Philly, and I never could understand why people broke his balls. Like, he went to Washington and everybody broke his balls, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, in all fairness, if Jason Worth was my buddy, I'd be like, yo, dog. I love Philly and all, but you got to get paid, brother.
I agree.
Look at all the money. Washington offered him a huge ass contract. The Phillies didn't offer him dick. What was he supposed to do?
It was kind of the same thing as Kellen Moore. I think Kellen Moore as a coordinator can make $4 million. As a head coach, you make $12 million. You're not going to just stay to be the offensive coordinator. You got to take that pay raise.
Now, it's funny because he obviously had to take the job because you got to take the chance, but
you got to take the money. You got to take the job.
Right, but I can't. Unfortunately for him, though, I can't think of many worse jobs right now in the NFL than the New Orleans. The New Orleans Saints are like
the Giants.
It don't sound like a worse job for $8 million more a year.
Of course, that's true. But I'm saying, I just don't know. He's going to have a tough time winning there at first, though. They are the epitome of purgatory. They're middle of the pack. They have no core. They have Derek Carr, but it's.
Yeah, but with a good coordinator like Kellen Moore, they can compete in that division. That division sucks.
Well, that division does blow. Although, Tampa Bay's not bad, but you're right.
But I don't think it's impossible to win more games in a season than Tampa Bay with Derek Carr.
No, that you're right. That division's you got the Falcons, and they're probably going to go with the Kid Penix.
Yeah, Tampa Bay, which they're a good team, but they're not guaranteed. They might be a Mike Evans injury away from not really being that competitive.
Yeah, what's his?
And the Carolina Panthers suck.
Yeah, although you know what, Bryce Young started to look a little better as the year went on, though. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, he sucks.
Well,
Fucking Pete Prisco will take Bryce Young over fucking Jalen Hurts.
Fucking clown. I know.
Pete Prisco.
What the hell are what the hell's his credentials? Just talking.
And he picked against the Eagles to lose every single game in the playoffs. He's a fucking hater.
Yeah, well, that dude's wrong. So hey, he bet on the wrong horse
every time.
All right, so let's how about, because we're not going to do the show for another, and we'll probably take a little break until free agency. So let's make a couple. All right, let's go down the line. Let's go free agent predictions. All right, so I'll start with you, Diego. Out of our main four, all right, so we got Bourne, Becton, Milton Williams, Josh Sweat. I know you said who you would sign. Who's coming back and who's going?
I think Sweat and Milton Williams are gone.
Okay.
I think we have too much young talent at defensive end. They're going to need more time, and you're not going to give Sweat the money. And then I also think we got 3 at least very playable defensive tackles, one of the best ones in the league. Jordan Davis, who might be one of the better run stoppers at D tackle. So I think Milton Williams and Sweat are gone. I think you have to re-sign Bond first. And I think you have to hope that you can get a deal done with Mekhi Becton as long as no one throws the house at him to be their right tackle.
Okay. Sean, how about you?
I see, what's the name? Bourne and Becton staying, They get some nice deals as far as free agents, our guys going. I agree with Diego. Sweat and Milton Williams played a hell of a Super Bowl. They brought up their status. They're going. So next man up mentality. Rotate that revolving door.
All right. How about you, Jeff? What do you think?
I think we're 3 for 3 here. Same thing. I think they're the 2 that they have to sign. The other 2 are going to walk. I think they're going to take the money. I don't know if there's that. Some players just want a Super Bowl and then they want the money. Some players never make the Super Bowl. They have a ton of money, but the one thing they'll say is, I'd rather have had a Super Bowl. So you got the players now. Yeah, now they've got their Super Bowl. Okay, now I can cash in and make the money, and it depends. But I think they're the 2 they have to go after. And Vaughn, if they just choose one, Vaughn's number 1, and then Beckham number 2.
Yeah, actually, we're going to be 4 for 4, and because I agree with you guys, and Maurice Wright actually brings up another guy here. He says, because this guy's a free agent too. He says, does Gainwell make his exit this offseason? I'm sure he wants a bigger role in the offense. I like the potential Shipley has. I actually think, because I was reading projected contracts, I don't think Gainwell gets any more than Gainwell's projected to maybe get like $1 million or $1.5 million.
We could keep him. But I like Shipley. I wouldn't mind going to Shipley and letting Gainwell walk.
I can see Shipley as a special teams guy, like I said to Joey.
Yeah.
Here's
blocked really well.
Here's one thing about Gainwell though. It got lost. It got lost in the fact that we beat their ass in the Super Bowl. Gainwell made a couple really huge special teams tackles in the Super Bowl. Like he's decent on special teams. So I feel like if you could get him for like $1 million or $1.5 million, they may bring him back, and then they'll You know what I'm saying? I could see him possibly coming back.
Don't count out your special teams players, like you said. You got Ringo and Sidney Brown. So that's but as far as tackling.
Paul Spencer says Bourne and Becton are the major ones re-signed. I hope you don't get the next TJ Watt in the draft, Jack Sawyer for Ohio State.
They got the Falcons getting him.
Yeah, so I think but though, I mean, the draft. What?
He's an edge rusher.
Right, but though, Sean, I mean, the draft projections this time of year are going to as soon as everything's going to change when the contract shit comes.
He's going to dazzle at the combine.
The names are fancy, and like I said, once these combines and they do, who does the 40, who does the bench press, but mainly the running, the drills, and all that throwing stuff. That's where it counts the most to me.
I have a question. What do we do about Jake? Do we bring somebody in to test him out, or do we move him or get another kicker?
Nah.
He did fine in the Super Bowl, but during the season, boy, he could have lost some of those games, and
That's true.
But that
Mojo.
Super Bowl could easily get him. I feel like kicking has a lot to do with your brain. Like he was just off. You have a game to finish season like that, you might go in the next season confident.
Yeah, I just didn't know if we bring somebody in to kind of nudge him a little.
I totally
Yeah,
agree.
maybe some competition.
Yeah, that's what he
Competition.
needs.
And he's competitive too. He likes golf. They said by far he's probably one of the
Best athletes on the team.
Yeah. So competition's always. I would support shit. Sign him up. Yeah.
Yeah, and and the other thing about Elliott too is one of the I mean, to his credit, he didn't make excuses, but it kind of one of the writers was kind of talking to him and kind of got the impression that maybe he was kind of battling something that was nagging him all year. You know,
maybe the mental thing, man. A lot of dudes don't understand. It's a mental block. It could be maybe a health problem. Who knows? Is he going to tell you? No, but he balled out in the Super Bowl. He made kicks, like Jeff said, when needed. 50, 40. I'll take that instead of shanking them and missing simple ones.
We can't bring Justin Tucker in.
Matter of fact, Justin,
Pause
right now. Okay.
If you do, make sure you warn all the masseuses in Philly that he's coming.
Justin Tucker's sitting there. Remember what was it? Remember that movie? What was that? The movie Rush Hour? What was it? Rush Hour back in the day with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, but they're in the washy wash.
Yep.
That would be Deshaun Watson and Justin Tucker.
What a mess Deshaun Watson is. I mean, Cleveland's got to get rid of him somehow and be done. This guy's done.
He just tore his Achilles.
Yeah, but they still think they're going to come back.
Yeah,
I know there's something in their contract about an injury and this and that. Hopefully they can get out of it there. But I mean, I never hated Cleveland.
Yeah, you're right.
They have to get away from him and then just kind of start over. I mean, he makes the team horrible. I used to like to watch the Browns. There was one of those teams where like an underdog. Like I used to like the Jets years ago just to do something. As much as I hate per se New York, I just wanted to see them do something. They never did. The only good thing that they ever did was take Kotite away from us.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? So we were talking about Deshaun Watson and injuries, and sometimes when you get injured, you want to call up a good massage place, right? But can I tell you another person you want to call? You want to call my man Jason Fine, aka Attorney Big Al. Motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workers' compensation, or like I said, personal injury claims. Hey, I mean, it's you get hurt, it's bad enough, but you might as well get some coin out of the deal. You know what I'm saying? So he'll get you paid. He'll get you paid, and Deshaun Watson and Justin Tucker. Well, I mean, hey, they might get you laid, but they'll get you in trouble. So I don't know. All right. So anyway, he's got 3 office locations throughout Pennsylvania, New Jersey, 1 in Philadelphia, PA, 1 in Cherry Hill, and 1 in Pittsburgh. So call him. Don't call Justin Tucker or Deshaun Watson. They'll get you in trouble. And then here, just real quick, here's the schedule for Out of the Box Sports. As you see, here's the Sully Squad on Monday nights. We're going to take next week off because, to be quite honest with you, I can't. The Sixers blow and the Flyers suck right now, and I can't bring myself to. I don't want it to feel like work. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
Yeah. We could do something better with our time and talk about them.
First preseason game, 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, there we go. There we go. So, yeah, spring down in clear. I guess it's clear water, but a true Philadelphian says clear water, right?
Yeah, clear water.
Yeah, I like them shirts they have where they have the clear water shirts. You know,
yep,
they're pretty cool.
And with the Phillies, I don't think they did enough.
Me either. Let me get one more football here, and then maybe we'll get a little bit of Phillies here. He's got Maurice Wright with all the talent at the defensive edge rushers in this year's draft. I feel Howie can grab a steal off. I could grab a steal just off conference SEC Big Ten.
Absolutely.
We'll see.
We always talk about the conferences. There's a lot of hidden gems. So
I got one for you guys. So obviously we're talking draft, right? And you say you lose Josh Sweat, and you're going to have to play Huff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a guy. What about Hassan Reddick on like a prove it deal? I mean, well, here's the thing. All right, Sean, you and I talked about this the other day. Like,
yeah, I know what I told you.
Right. There could be attitude. Maybe there's a locker room attitude presence. I get you. Because remember last year in the 2023 collapse, some of the players were saying, oh, guys are playing individually. They're not playing defense. And that might have been directed at him. So if it is, obviously he's out. But Reddick didn't do shit this year. There's probably not a huge market for him. And what if the attitude problem wasn't that big a deal and you could bring him in on a 1 year like prove it deal and he comes back to Philly for 1 year? If the attitude was fine, I would bring him in for a year.
Me too. I would.
I'd sit and wait just first to see who's out there. Teams are going to shake some people off the tree. I would want to see first what's out there. If he was a last-ditch effort and we needed somebody who, again, he's not coming into the same Philadelphia either. Different coaches, different scheme, everything like that. Okay, he's got some talent, a little bit slower, but I'd want to see what else shakes down from the tree first. One just got, he was just jettisoned. They had nothing to do with him. Look what he did for us.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I kind of meant along those lines. You know what I mean? Like kind of like Reddick's out there. There's there's no market for him really. You know what I mean? And so say you're sitting there, you're Howie Roseman, and Reddick has no market. He's already been here. I know he's a year older, so maybe he's a little slower. But you're not asking him to be Hassan Reddick getting you 15 to 17 sacks. You're basically asking him to be Hassan Reddick. Hey, I want you to rotate with Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Bryce Huff, and go in and rush the passer on like 3rd and 7 here or there. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering that myself, but. The way that the defense collapsed in 2023, like obviously I'm not going to blame him per se, but there was a lot of talk like, guys are playing individually for contracts. Well, he was the poster boy for looking for a contract. So it sounds like it might have been about him.
Well, in that case, does Bryce give back Reddick 0?
That's right.
Wait, what's this?
Does he give back 0?
Does who give back 0?
He gives Reddick back 0. Reddick had 0.
Nah, I thought Reddick had 7.
Yeah, Reddick got 7.
Well, he's a 0. Whatever.
7-0
0 out.
He did 0 this year. He didn't do shit.
He didn't play, did he?
You wouldn't know he played. I don't even know if he had a sack, dude.
No, he didn't.
He didn't play.
No, he played.
So
he was invisible.
Yeah, I mean his market is going to he's not going to have much of a market. So that's what made me think of him, because it's like, and he is from here. So you bring him in on a 1 year prove it deal. I mean, hey, if he comes, it's kind of like remember the movie what was it, Moneyball? Remember when when Billy Bean goes into Dave Justice and he's like, oh, you're paying me this, and he's like, no, I'm not paying you shit. He's like, the Yankees are paying you to play against them, and then he's kind of like, oh shit, all right, So, but anyway, so get into before we get out of here, like get into baseball. The Phillies.
I was gonna say I got one thing that I saw the other day that was kind of made me laugh. We were talking about quarterbacks before.
Mm-hmm.
So Kenny Pickett has more passes in the Super Bowl than Lamar Jackson. than what's his face out in San Diego.
Justin
Herbert more than Josh Allen.
More than Dak Prescott.
And more than Prescott. There you go. He's got a lot more than any of those. Even obviously Lawrence, who everybody thinks is better, still got more passes, more Super Bowl rings.
I know, right?
I was just laughing. More passes. I'm like, oh man.
Oh, that's great. I know. Yeah, I love some of those stats. It was like, I think one of them was like Jeremiah. What was it, like Jeremiah Trotter? Like played in the NFL, had a kid, he's in the NFL, and like before Dallas makes a championship game or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and his son wins a ring.
I know, it's great. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if maybe I mean, with that's another guy. Well, not Jeremiah Trotter, but Oren Burks. He's a free agent, and he played really well in the playoffs, and with Nakobe Dean's, Nakobe Dean got hurt in the playoffs, so he may not be back until during the season. So it'd be interesting to see. I wonder if the Eagles could keep him, or if they can't, if Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is going to get a little bit of playing time early in the season.
That could be another position you draft.
You know what? That may not be a bad idea, because Dean's another guy that he was drafted 2022, and he was a third rounder. So you got to sign him after this year. So yeah, they may have to draft a linebacker, maybe second, third round, something like that.
Yep.
But
after Hallie gets the mark off of his forehead, he's got some work to do. I saw that live on TV. Wow.
Oh yeah.
That was a shot.
So, all right. So obviously the big talk is the Eagles. Before we get out of here, Phillies started spring training.
Mhm.
I know
We should talk about how disappointing of an all season they had.
I mean, yeah, I got to be honest. You look at what the Dodgers did. I mean, the Dodgers basically were like the Howie Roseman Eagles of signing everybody, and the Phillies didn't do shit. I'm sorry. I mean, I do like the pitcher they got, the Luzardo from the Marlins.
Well, like I said, it's like a game changer.
Well,
He's a left-handed pitcher. He had an ERA of like 4 or something, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was hurt.
He was
though.
hurt.
I mean,
battling back problems or something. I mean, hopefully he gets back to 2021 form, like I was telling Joey. I mean, I'm with it.
The bigger thing is we get Painter back.
Yeah, so to me though, that's you watch that postseason, and the lineup clearly. First off, it was lineup and bullpen. Like the bullpen was good during the regular season, but then they sucked in the playoffs. So and the lineup, the Phillies have been feast or famine in this whole era. They'll score 10 runs one night, and then they'll score like 5 nights in a row. And the problem is in the playoffs, the last 3 years, what happened? I think we all can agree Houston was a better team in 2022. But the bottom line is though, the Phillies were up 2-1 at home, and they didn't do shit. They didn't do shit the next 3 nights. In fact, I mean, they even got no hit the next night. So they didn't do shit 3 games in a row. Arizona, they kicked their ass. First 2 games here in Philly, kicked their ass. Come to Philly up 3-2. You have to win 1 game at home. The lineup totally goes south. And then this year, you play the Mets. Other than the Game 2 comeback, the lineup didn't do dick. I mean, the Phillies bullpen cost them. I mean, the Phillies starting pitching was great in that Mets series. It was the bullpen and the lineup that cost them. And the 2 things they didn't do shit to fix was the bullpen and the lineup.
I think he wore out Hoffman. We don't have to worry about that anymore. I think he used him too much. He was using those guys just way too much. And when it came to the hitting, if you were an opposing coach and you were going against the Phillies and you were out there talking to your pitchers, what one pitch would you tell them to throw every single Philly?
Like a loving away slider
or a breaking pitch out the way.
Balls. Yeah,
they swing at everything.
Power hitters for the most part, so they need to have that machine set on sliders all season and just practice that. Stay off it, whatever, because when that ball's grooved, it's gone, and that's when they have those huge games. But you knew if you had a guy who had a great slider, done.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah, that was the most frustrating thing. Like that Mets series. I mean, I was pulling my hair out because the Phillies got themselves out most of those draws. I mean, you watch it. The Mets were throwing slop up there, and they were just chasing it, and I mean, and listen, I love JT Realmuto's been a great Philly, and and I like the guy and everything, but going forward, in all honesty, I'm a little concerned about him. I mean, I think you got to cut back on his innings because he had nothing left in that series.
I read something they could move him to left field. They're going to try him in left field.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
I don't get that either. I mean,
Well, you keep his knees fresher.
Putting Schwarber left. No, I just, if anything, put him at first or DH. But we got those already called for.
Yeah, see, I feel like, I mean, obviously the team loves Garrett Stubbs because he's Mr. Party guy and all that shit. But I'm sorry, I would have Marshawn. I would have Marshawn up here, and I would cut back. I would have JT's catching be cut back to like 110 games. I'd cut him back because you need him in October.
Yeah.
The funny part is, who was one of the worst swinging batters we had the year before? Not that we just passed, but the year before that. I guess he pissed everybody off the whole season with his
Nick Castellanos.
Nick Castellanos, who had the best hitting with the slider this year. Castellanos.
I know.
Talk to him and see what he changed. Because every time he come up, we go, oh, that's an out. Oh, that's an out. But all of a sudden, he started swinging differently. Obviously, something changed. But, as much as I love Harper swings too much. And I can't stand when they let that first pitch get down the middle of the plate.
Yeah.
God, when I was in the Little League all the way up in the high school and everywhere I've played, I don't care. If that ball is where you want it, hit it. I don't care if it's the first pitch or whatever. Hit it.
That's what I thought. Yeah, exactly.
You're already in the hole. Why?
I know you're right, because sometimes when you go up there overthinking and in an at bat you might only get one good pitch. Mm-hmm. You might get one pitch to hit the entire at bat, and if you let it go, then you're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be Tony Gwynn up there.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like Chase Elliott always let that first pitch come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Schwarber does. Every once in a while, he'll hit one for the beginning of the game, but he always lets that one. It's like he's timing it. I mean, I understand to a point, but during the rest of the game, I mean, in the first inning, whatever, if you're going to take that first pitch, maybe in your mind you're timing him and figuring out what his pitches are like. Okay, understandable, but not the rest of the game. If that pitch is, you stand there and you watch the guy, it's right down the middle of the plate. You want to jump to the TV and hit it yourself. It annoys the heck out of me on why they don't hit the first pitch.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll get a lot more into the Philly, because they're just showing up today. But I mean, in the coming weeks we'll get a lot more into the Phillies. But I mean, my first impression of the offseason is just extreme disappointment. I mean, I'm sorry, but like a center field platoon of Marsh and Rojas does not make me excited at all.
No.
And then you go out and you sign Max Kepler, who, when he's healthy, actually can be pretty decent, but he's your main acquisition. And I was hearing that they're gonna attempt to maybe play Sosa a little bit in the outfield and maybe kind of have. So think about our outfield was one of, as good as we were last year. Our outfield was has to be bottom third in Major League Baseball, right? Yeah. Now, what you didn't do shit to improve it. And now you're going to run with a Kepler most of the time, with Sosa sometimes, and then you're going to go Marsh and Rojas. Oh boy, that strikes fear into another team.
Yeah. Dodgers are shaking their fucking shoes.
Unfortunately, we've been spoiled. We were like the Yankees. Right now, I think the team that's going to be the most disappointing team this year is the Dodgers, because they bought everything. They've got everything. But remember years ago, the Yankees did that for a while with George Steinbrenner, and they just couldn't play together. They just couldn't get it together, and they didn't win.
Yeah, but
but Dodgers just did.
Last year they did. But remember, look at all those years the Braves, what was it, 13, 14 years in a row, they won the division? I got one World Series out of that. Got to remember that. Well, they were dominant. Look at the pitching staff they had back then with Smoltz and all those guys.
But Dodgers might be like the best team ever put together.
Exactly, which may never be anything. That's my big thing. It's my big thing for them is the disappointment. Is one, we're going to have some trouble with the Mets, I think, this year.
Me too.
The Dodgers, I think, are going to be a disappointment of a team this year. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be injury. I don't know what it's going to be, but I just don't think they're going to play well together for some reason. And I just always think back of being younger and always thinking, oh, the Yankees just bought everybody. Steinbrenner just goes out and buys anything he wants. But they could never play together.
I hope you're right, because right now the Dodgers look like a friggin' juggernaut. So hopefully you're right. And I hate the Dodgers. I mean, I hate the Mets and the Braves, the most, because they're in our division. But I've always hated the Dodgers. So, I don't want to see them win shit, especially since they won last year.
Right.
what doesn't get me is why do we always beat the good teams and we can't beat the bad teams? We'll beat the Dodgers. We'll beat the Mets. We'll beat them all during the season. And we can't do anything against these, the Twins or somebody else or whoever. They're coming in and we can't beat them.
Well, let's just, hey, I mean,
I just don't get it sometimes.
It's funny because, the last few years, the regular season, the Phillies have sold out pretty much every game. Sure. The crowd's been crazy. Sure. People have been excited. And now after I get the feeling that after last year's disappointment, I feel like a lot of people in this general area in the city are kind of like, okay, kind of like almost like it was with the Sixers a few years ago, like wake me in October, so right. It's pretty much like, okay, hey, get us to the playoffs. And, you guys know how baseball is, man. I mean, like you look at the run from 2007 through 2011. Mm-hmm. We all love the 2008 Phillies and the 2008 Phillies had a great lineup. But if you looked at the talent level of 2008 through the other years, I can make the argument that 2008 was technically their worst team. And yet they won the World Series because they got hot at the right time. So, I mean, obviously this Phillies team has concerns. We're worried about the bullpen and stuff, but, hopefully they win enough to get into the dance, and let's just hope that they're hot at the right time, and that'll get it done. You know what I mean?
Great. Yeah. Playoffs, you never know what happens from there.
Yeah, but you know what though? Hey, that'll be a lot of talk in the coming weeks. But let's get ready to wrap this up, guys. But so it's great. Good show. It was great getting everybody's talks about the parade and stuff like that. And, coming up, we're going to have to talk a little bit of Sixers and Flyers. Oh, God. Hopefully they can do something, right, guys?
Hopefully they hear us.
Yeah.
Well, the Flyers can fight, so at least that's fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's one thing.
USA, Canada.
I completely forgot. That hockey game the other night was friggin' unreal.
Hey, in the first 10 seconds, there's 3 fights.
Hey. They were disrespected the United States. They said they were going to, and they booed the national anthem. And supposedly the Kachuk brothers and a bunch of other were all on texts beforehand saying that
we're going to beat the shit out these dudes now.
That's what they did.
Oh, yeah? You want to talk shit? Now we're going to beat up your players right in front of you, bitch.
It was great. Actually, this was great because I flamed this dude. Yeah, like I never like attack people on X or anything like that. I couldn't help it yesterday because this loser goes on there and goes, "Great job, Bell Center. You came through." Or it was something like whatever it was, and it was something about like you got the assignment or whatever, and didn't like take an. I forget what it was, but anyway, I was like, or it was really funny. That's what it was. It was like, oh, it was really funny expecting us not to boo the anthem. Great job, right? So I wrote. You know what's really funny? The fact that you guys took a big ass L in your own arena and your country hasn't won a Stanley Cup since 1993. I said it's hysterical. You know what I mean?
You didn't just lose the game. You got beat up too.
That's even worse.
Imagine that. Imagine we got our ass kicked in the game and physically. The brothers, the 2 brothers were dapping each other up and shit. They beat the shit out that dudes.
Yeah, like It just cracked me up because you had all these dudes in Canada like blowing each other about how proud they were that they booed the anthem, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! I'm like, you guys invented hockey. The last time you won a cup was the Canadians in 1993, dude. It's 2025. I mean, shit. Paul Spencer was talking about 29 years. Hey, J.O., that's 32. You're even worse than the Cowboys right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's funny because I always rooted for the Canadian, like, when a Canadian team would play like a team from the Sun Belt, like Florida or like, or LA or somewhere they didn't give a shit about hockey. Like, I'd always root for the Canadian teams. I'd be like, it means more to those people. I got to keep it real. They're dead to me now. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, now it's fuck Canada.
Yeah. Bro.
They might become a new state soon. Be careful.
I know, right? I don't care if there's 4 people in that. It could be like the Devils where they had that John in the parking lot.
In the
remember?
parking lot.
They could have 4 people at that parade as opposed to like the whole country of Canada. I'm rooting for those 4 dudes.
Yeah,
I'm like, I hope you all win. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh, the Florida Panthers? Let's go Florida Panthers.
Yo, it could be like, I mean, Phoenix just moved to Utah. Dude, you know what's fucked up? I don't even know the team name, but I'd go Utah.
Hockey team.
Yeah, it's just hockey team. It's a
team.
Utah
Next year
hockey
they're going to
team.
be called the Utah. They got the new logo because they were going to be the Yetis, but Yeti obviously was going to sue them. So they have some big bear on the front of it or whatever, and I forget the name that they have. It's down to 2 of them now, and that's blowing it away.
I would just keep a hockey team.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They actually missed a golden opportunity because Amanda and I were watching My Cousin Vinny the other night. They should have called them the Utah Utes.
Utes.
They missed a golden opportunity.
That would have been huge.
Utes.
Marketing alone would have been huge. That's exactly it.
Utes.
Picture of Fred Gwynn on the front.
That would have been perfect. I loved that movie. Just
That's a great movie.
I think one of the greatest scenes, and then we'll get out of here real quick, is like when he goes in and he's like, "Are you mocking me?" He's like, "No, sir." He's like, "Where did you get that hideous suit?"
It was the only place open.
He's like, "The whole town was closed because of the flu." He's like, "This is the only suit I can get."
It's the only one I can get.
I love when Fred Gwynn holds up the finger. He goes, Mitzi, can you hold up? I'm going to hold up fingers and tell me how many fingers I'm holding up. And Fred Gwynn goes, I'll let the court know that he's holding up 2 fingers. Your Honor. Oh, yeah. I just love it.
That whole movie's great.
It's beginning to end. You love it.
Oh, that's great. So, all right. Well, yeah. It's been a blast, guys, and everybody out there. We'll be back. We'll be back in a few weeks where we get a little closer to NFL free agency. So, I don't know. I'd say go Sixers, but honestly, I'd rather see them lose. And Tank. What's Tank for? What Cooper Flag?
They got no chance at him now.
I know they're screwed.
Just get to the playoffs. At least give us a fucking round to watch.
All right, cool. And then hopefully, and maybe the Flyers. You know what? Add some more assets and this off season, if Briere does his job right, if this team gets a center and they spend some money and draft well, they could turn it around pretty quick. So let's hope for that.
Our problem is we didn't get any. We got a couple Russian goalies. They ain't cutting it.
Yeah.
We need a stud goaltender, and that'll help a lot because you can't have the defense always back there. They're not going to be doing it. They're young. That's the biggest thing right now. And we used to be a goaltending. Everybody used our goaltenders. We would trade them away, and then we'd do great everywhere else but here.
Yeah.
Fuck Carter Hart.
Having that goaltender.
I know Carter Hart screwed us. Yeah, he's
done. His career's over. Unfortunately, he's going to be with Justin Tucker and Deshaun Watson.
And Deshaun Watson. They're going to hang out. They're going to start like a rap group or something.
It's like the Longest Yard Part 3.
Yeah, I know. We need a new Russian goalie. Sean and I grew up where we grew up right down the street with Bustleton. It was like Little Moscow. We need to
just go find an Igor over there and get him on the Flyers.
All right, fellas. Well, it's been
guys.
real. See you all.
Peace out.
You guys.
Have a good one.
Go
Take
win.
care.